Welcome to another edition of Breaking News, brought to you by Source Selection Soundbites. Today we will discuss the case of Sparksoft Corporation versus the United States that was decided at the Court of Federal Claims, or the COFC. In this acquisition, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, had a requirement for information technology services that would mostly be acquired via the award of a firm fixed-price contract. Sparksoft identified conflicts in the solicitation regarding the agency's planned actions in regard to provision 52.222-46. Compensation for professional employees. The agency thanked Sparksoft for pointing out solicitation discrepancies, but did not clarify the requirement or update the solicitation language. Subsequently, CMS expressly stated it would not perform a realism analysis on the professional compensation related to the firm fixed-price portion of the quotations. Following its conversations with the agency, and after CMS announced that it would not conduct a price realism analysis, Sparksoft filed a pre-award protest because of the agency's announced position on realism was inconsistent with the requirements of the solicitation, and it created a patent ambiguity in the RFQ. According to the protester, this patent ambiguity creates a catch-22 situation because it fears proposing high rates that would exceed those of competitors or lower rates that CMS would find unrealistic if it conducted a realism analysis, losing the bid either way. Thus, the protester argues this question about the price realism analysis must be resolved so that the protester is not denied a fair opportunity to compete for award of the task order. The government, on the other hand, argues that Sparksoft's interpretation of FAR subsection 52.222-46 is unreasonable because the FAR does not mandate a price realism analysis before the award of a fixed-price contract. The agency took this position even though the large fixed portion of the contract is virtually all for professional IT services performed by educated and trained individuals that meet the definition of professional employee. En route to finding against the agency, the court found that CMS disavowed any obligation to conduct a price realism analysis, notwithstanding the inclusion of FAR provision 52.222-46 in the solicitation. In the court's view, CMS cannot disavow a mandatory provision in the RFQ through contrary statements or claims of differences in interpretation. Moreover, the court found that even though the contract at issue is almost exclusively structured as a firm fixed price, that does not eliminate the need to perform the realism analysis required under FAR provision 52.222-46. Labeling a contract as firmed fixed price when the contract requires almost entirely professional services, does not magically excuse the government from performing a realism evaluation of the proposed professional compensation rates. Finally, the court agreed with the protester that it would suffer prejudice if CMS does not perform the price realism analysis required by FAR provision 52.222-46, and if the agency is ambiguous about its obligations. Given these facts, the COFC sustained the protest. Now let's address a few of the lessons learned from this protest. They include: 1. Agencies and contractors are bound by the clauses and provisions in the solicitation because they set the ground rules of the competition. 2. The agency must comply with the dictates of provision 52.222-46 when it's in the solicitation. And 3. The fact the agency contemplates a firm fixed-price contract does not obviate the need to comply with provision 52.222-46 when it's applicable to the requirement. In this episode of Source Selection Soundbites, we discussed the Sparksoft case and the price realism principles associated with it. This concludes today's Source Selection Soundbite. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, sample documents, and more material that allows practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.